U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said on Thursday new weapons are being delivered to Ukrainian forces with a strong sense of urgency following a two-day meeting of NATO and G7 foreign ministers in Brussels.
As Henry Ridgwell reports, Ukraine's foreign minister told NATO the coming battles against invading Russian forces will resemble World War II.
Visiting NATO, Ukraine's foreign minister said his message could be summarized in 3 words: weapons, weapons, and weapons.
Either you help us now, and I'm speaking about days, not weeks, or your help will come too late. And many people will die.
Kuleba warned that Russian forces are regrouping to focus on the eastern Donbass region.
The battle for Donbass will remind you of Second World War, with large operations, maneuvers, involvement of thousands of tanks, armored vehicles, planes, artillery.
Was that enough to persuade NATO and G7 ministers? The U.S. Secretary of State said more weapons were on their way to Ukraine.
We are looking at, day in, day out, what we believe they most need, to include new systems that have not heretofore been provided. We're listening to them in terms of their assessment of what they need. We're putting that all together, and we're proceeding. And we have a strong sense of urgency. That was something that I think was felt among all allies and partners here today.
Blinken also condemned the apparent civilian massacres carried out by Russian forces in towns like Bucha, which Moscow has denied despite mounting evidence.
For every Bucha, there are many more towns Russia has occupied and more towns it is still occupying, places where we must assume Russian soldiers are committing more atrocities right now.
The West's appetite to supply a greater quantity and range of weapons to Ukraine is growing, says analyst Malcolm Chalmers.
Because of the atrocities that we're seeing in our TV screens, and not least because the Ukrainians are actually winning in important respects. They've won the battle in the north and they're getting ready for a fight in the east. So people really do believe the Ukrainians have a chance of achieving most of their objectives. NATO countries will want a Russian military that is seen to be weakened.
In the east, Russia controls more territory, and Ukraine will require additional types of weapons, says Chalmers.
Particularly ones which can reach deeper behind Russian lines to hold at risk, for example, Russian longer-range artillery, which anti-tank weapons cannot do at range, and also to have effective air defences.
For Ukraine, the immediate priority is getting heavy weapons to the eastern front lines as its forces prepare for the next Russian offensive.